Hi, I'm Madam Jess, and this is Get Kinked, the podcast for Kinked Atlanta, kinky education in Atlanta. I'm here today to tell everyone about PPE Weekend, our Protocol and Power Exchange Weekend Intensive, happening next weekend, July 27th and 28th. Hello, everyone. I am here today to tell everyone about the upcoming Protocol and Power Exchange Weekend Intensive that I am hosting on behalf of Kinked Atlanta. So, the PPE Weekend, as I've started calling it, Protocol and Power Exchange Weekend, is a weekend long intensive that is obviously the theme or the concept around the education will all be based on protocol and power exchange. So I am making this podcast today to tell you a little bit about why we decided to go with this particular weekend intensive, what we're hoping to do with it, to inform everyone about the various presenters, demos, and workshops that we will be having, and also to highlight the sponsors and the people behind the scenes who have been helping us pull this together. I want to make sure that we give a big shout out to all of them. So, as usual, I will sort of run through this podcast in that order. If you are only here for information and don't care for all of the extra fun stuff, feel free to skip through to the part that you want to hear about. Again, we will be going in order sort of through what the weekend is, what we are, why we are doing it, what we hope to accomplish with it, and then actually listing out the various presenters, classes, demos, workshops, sponsors, so that you'll have a good idea of what's going on throughout the entire weekend. So, what is PPE Weekend? What is the Protocol and Power Exchange Weekend? This is a weekend long event. We are doing the event on Saturday and Sunday, July 27th and 28th. So, next weekend. It's very quick. It is a weekend long intensive that is focused on protocol and power exchange. Obviously, we will be doing a lot of workshops and demonstrations that involve service. We will be discussing how to negotiate your power dynamic. We will be discussing different kinds of protocols that people use in their daily lives. We will be talking about long distance DS relationships, a whole host of things that are all revolve around protocol and power exchange. In addition, we're going to make sure to have some social time. So we do have several social opportunities for a chance to show off the service that you are learning in this weekend intensive. So every day we will have opportunities for that. For example, on Saturday we are having a wine and charcuterie hour where people can show off their beverage service skills. And then the next day on Sunday, we are having a tea party, a high protocol tea, so that people have an opportunity to experience what that's like in an educational setting. So why go through all this work and trouble and effort to put this all together? One of the goals that I had for Kinked Atlanta this year was to host at least one weekend intensive. That is something that I used to see more often before COVID, and I haven't seen as many of those since. So the idea was to put together, it's not a conference, right? Like it's not to the scale of a conference, but it is a weekend dedicated to learning a specific topic, and bringing people together who are interested in that topic, an opportunity to sort of immerse yourself into some of these lifestyle concepts. So, like I said, it is Saturday and Sunday, all day, both days, during the daytime. So we have the space from approximately 10 a.m. till about 6 p.m. So you can come in and spend all day learning, spending time with other people who are also interested in these subjects. And then actually have an opportunity to network, socialize, and like I said, experience some of these protocols and service ideas that you've just learned in class. Another original goal for Kinked Atlanta was really to explore more of the protocol and power exchange service and things like that. Over time, it started that way, right? Like the original Sunday service that became Kinked Atlanta started as a service demonstration where I wanted to have discussion on dynamics and power exchange and safety and questions like that, and then do an actual service demonstration or have some kind of protocol power exchange a workshop. That was the original purpose, and that's why I called it the Sunday service. Over time, we had to expand that with some of the changes when we began looking for larger venues and we began expanding. In order to fill those venues and to keep growing our audience, we did expand from just talking about protocol service power exchange. We expanded out of that when we became Kinked Atlanta to include more practical application and actual physical skills, as well as more safety. So the protocol and power exchange weekend is sort of an opportunity and a chance to bring it back to the original roots and the original goals of Kinked Atlanta when it was still the Sunday service. Some of these concepts, as always, are built around what I perceive as a gap in the Atlanta community or a missing link. Prior to pandemic, we had TARPS, which was the Atlanta Ritual and Protocol Society. We also had a MAST chapter, the Master and Slaves Together. And those are, I don't want to say defunct, but they're not operational at this time. So, there is a gap there. The community has said, the community has indicated that they are interested in power exchange dynamics, that they are interested in talking about protocols and service. I know that we have, for example, a protocol dinner coming up in October. There is the Black and Blue Ball that Subby School does. So there is an interest and a need in the Atlanta community to get back into having some more of these protocol type events or service related events. And I think that's really great. I absolutely love those. I miss the days of hosting protocol dinners. Not at my house. Never again at my house, but definitely will be a lot of fun to host one once again for the community, for you. That will be October 19th. So that one is still a little ways out, but putting the bug in your ear, because a goal of Protocol and Power Exchange Weekend is to actually develop the protocols and the service that will be in place for that dinner in October. So I hope that those of you who join us for this event will be able to be involved and invested into the future protocol events that Kinked Atlanta will be hosting. And that's very exciting for me because it is a personal passion of mine and very relevant to my personal lifestyle. It's one of the additional goals of Kinked Atlanta has always been to bring the community together and to facilitate community collaboration. And we've been able to do this a pretty good bit already. I love being able to work with different groups and bring different facets of the community together, especially when it pertains to education, advocating for us as Kinksters, advocating for safety, and just being an overall outlet for people to come and explore. So in order to do that, we have teamed up this time. We have sort of a new group of folks that we are working with. We will start with our hosts. Our hosts are the Atlanta Therapeutic Collective. They do host other kink and lifestyle friendly events in their space sometimes, so you might already be familiar with them. They have agreed to rent their space to us for Protocol and Power Exchange Weekend Intensive. I'm very grateful to them for their hospitality and letting us use their space. So I wanted to give a big shout out to them first and foremost for the use of their space and for being so easy to work with in terms of facilitating a rental. I also wanted to give a shout out to them because they are providing our human charcuterie board on Saturday. That's right, Saturday night. In addition to all of our classes and workshops, we have the socials, and on Saturday night, Atlanta Therapeutic Collective is sponsoring our wine and charcuterie hour by providing our human charcuterie board. So that is super exciting, and a secondary big shout to them as a sponsor and collaborator on this particular event. If you're familiar with the Atlanta Therapeutic Collective, you're also probably already aware of Atlanta Subby School. Atlanta Subby School often uses the Atlanta Therapeutic Collective as their home base, where they host a lot of their meetings and gatherings. So we have asked them, reached out to them as their home turf to help us at Kinked Atlanta with navigating the logistics of using the space and organizing the weekend itself. In addition to that, Atlanta Subby School is sponsoring our afternoon tea, our high tea protocol in the Sunday afternoon. So we are very grateful to them. They are going to be providing a lot of service, a lot of help. They have been great in the brainstorming process of how to get some of this moving and what might work and what might not be. So a big thank you to them. It has definitely been appreciated, and we're happy to work with another service group to make this a good event for everyone. Next, we have Atlanta's newest rental venue. Mistress Ultraviolet has a brand new venue, and that is the Atlanta Bed and Bondage. It is a kinky Airbnb. It is amazing. We just hosted our tea party there as part of the Atlanta Dungeon Sisterhood. And I have had the luxury of being the first person to use that space. Very exciting, very cool space. On behalf of Atlanta Bed and Bondage, we will also be holding a brunch on Sunday morning, so that when you all come in from partying Saturday night after the intensive has ended, or whatever you get into that night, when you all come stumbling in Sunday morning, chipper and ready to learn with us, we will start with a brunch and discussion, and that is hosted by Atlanta Bed and Bondage and Mistress Ultraviolet. And finally, we have a brand new collaboration with Whippersnappers. Many of you know Whippersnappers. It is the under 40 group here in Atlanta. They've been around for quite a while. And we have teamed up with them to try to cross-promote some education and to encourage people to get themselves educated. What we have done, Kinked Atlanta is raffling off a pair of tickets to the Protocol and Power Exchange weekend at Whippersnappers Kinky Prom on Saturday the 20th. So this Saturday, if you attend the Whippersnappers event at the Masquerade, you can enter a raffle to win a set of tickets, like 2 tickets, one for Saturday, one for Sunday. You get the whole weekend. It's a $200 value. You can enter to win that at the Whippersnappers party this Saturday. In exchange, in addition, anyone who attends the Protocol and Power Exchange weekend will be receiving a discount code to attend the Whippersnappers after party on the 27th. So when you finish your Protocol and Power Exchange weekend learning after our wine and charcuterie hour, if you're still, pumped up and ready to go play, you will get a discount code to go to the Whippersnappers play party that night. So that is our little exchange. We want you to get educated, and in order to do that, we are cross-promoting so that people are safe and so that people make the best, most informed choices that they can. So Whippersnappers folks, please join us for the Protocol and Power Exchange weekend, and we will, of course, be offering discounted tickets to their play party at our event for anyone who attends our event and buys a ticket. Some of the hopes and goals for this event, if I'm honest, I think that it's really great to host an event where people can come together and network and get to know one another and celebrate something they're passionate about, learn and share ideas. I also think it's really great that we have an event set up where we can learn some concepts and then put them into practical application at the same event right away to sort of drive home some of those concepts for everyone. And some conversations about what I'm hoping to accomplish with this weekend intensive. A couple of different things. I think it's very important to create a space where both D types and S types can feel comfortable sharing their thoughts and experiences in the same room. I do not want everyone separated all the time and just hearing an echo chamber of their own personal thoughts. I really am hoping to facilitate an environment where we can all share and learn and grow together. And that means that I am also really hopeful to encourage attendees of all different skill sets. So, one of the things that I tried really hard not to do, I didn't want to focus on 101 classes because I am really trying to find classes for everyone, for people with more experience. And I think a lot of those one on one concepts are also touched upon in some of the more advanced level classes. So I wanted classes that were going to be interested for people who already have experience in this, but I also didn't want them to be so advanced that it left newer people behind. In addition to facilitating a space where both D types and S types can feel comfortable together, I also wanted to facilitate a space where more experienced lifestyle players and our newer lifestyle players could come together as well. I don't want all new people. I don't want all older people. I would really like to see a nice mix of both. Of course, I can't control who decides to come to this Power Exchange weekend, but I want to tell you a little bit of why. I know that I have gone out of my way to make sure that I have very qualified presenters that are teaching and presenting for me. We will talk about them some more later. I did that, intentionally so people who want slightly more advanced classes could come, because I really hope that some of these older, more experienced, more advanced people will be willing to tell their stories as well, that they will be willing to share their experiences in class with the newer, younger people who might also be in class with them. From the other point of view, what I've discovered as an educator myself is that when I'm teaching some of these 101 concepts or when I'm talking to someone less experienced, there are a lot of things that I've taken for granted or concepts that I don't even think about anymore. And sometimes these questions from newer, younger people can spur on a conversation that you've completely forgotten about or that you take for granted, or maybe put a new spin on something that you were never curious before. I mean, it can really, their curiosity, and I say they, I mean, the curiosity, the interest, the excitement of the newer people just coming in can really help to rejuvenate those of us who have been here for a while. It can really help to reinforce some information that is buried back down in there and helps, again, to facilitate conversation. So I am hoping, please take a look at what these classes are. Please take a look at the class offerings and the presenters that we have on board and make a choice to come. If you think it's too advanced for you, it's not. If you think it's beneath you, it's not. It is an opportunity for all of us to talk and grow. And as we all know, there is not a one true way. There's not a one right way. We don't do one right ways. There are a lot of ways. And while the presenters are willing to share their experiences and the information that they've gathered over time, it's also important to have input from other sources. It is so important to learn from as many different people as you can and to try to keep an open mind, even when they don't always agree with you, because sometimes that will help you get a better, bigger picture perspective. So that is a thing that I am trying to do. Please help me. I need your help. I can't just make that happen. So who are these wonderful, awesome presenters that I have painstakingly begged and pleaded to come teach for me at the Power and Protocol Exchange weekend? I have some really good ones. And you guys know I go out of my way to try to find people with a lot of experience. I try to find people who have taught before. I try to find people of quality with good reputations who, I try my absolute best. And this group of classes is going to blow you away. Okay, I'm gonna quit hyping myself, but this is really, really good. So first off, we have Trinity, writer girl on FetLife. You guys know her. She has been around the Atlanta scene for a long time. She has taught at the Eagle. She's taught at Self. She's taught at DragonCon. She has taught at Frolicon. Trinity has been all over the place, and she's taught a lot of very, very good power exchange and DS themed dynamic type classes. She is very knowledgeable. She's been doing this for a very long time. And she's teaching two classes for me. The first will be on Saturday. She's teaching her service dates class with another well known Atlantan. She will be teaching with French Chris on that class. She is also teaching again for us on Sunday, and she is doing DS in polydynamics. So I am very personally interested in that class and looking forward to it. As mentioned, French Chris will also be teaching at the Protocol and Power Exchange weekend. He is also a longtime Atlanta lifestyler. Many of you already know him, particularly as a rope top. He is also very, very fond of good service, good food, and Protocol and Power Exchange. So he will be teaching with Trinity, the service dates class, on Saturday morning. In addition, he is teaching Wine Service Reimagined Saturday afternoon and putting his own spin on protocols behind wine service. I'm really excited for this one. It will be a very creative class, and that class's creativity will blend over into the wine and charcuterie hour that will directly follow his class. You don't want to miss that one. French Chris, knows all about the wine and is willing and excited to share his knowledge with us. We are very pleased to be working for the first time with Jessica Noir of House Noir. She was gracious enough to send an application with some excellent classes. I very much liked her application and her class resume that she sent over. She has been teaching for a few years now around Atlanta and is very interested in service and the power dynamics. Educating her community and her social justice work is what she is most proud of. And so I'm so happy to have her as an educator for the first time. And she is also doing two classes for us. How did I get so lucky with these people? These presenters have all been so generous with their time. So on Saturday, Jessica Noir will be teaching a class on contracts called Sign on the Dotted Line, Power Dynamic Contracts. That'll be Saturday. On Sunday, she is teaching Dynamics That Defy Distance, which will be your long distance DS class. Again, so pleased to have her. I'm really looking forward to both of these classes. I think they are excellent additions to our weekend. And a surprise presenter, Mistress Ultraviolet herself, has agreed to come teach for us. I'm just over the moon. Like, I didn't expect that. She reached out to me and she said, "What do I have to do to come teach for you?" I mean, duh, you just let me know. So she did. She has decided a class. She's been talking about this class for a while. It is called Scent Training, the Power of Pheromones. And this class is all about the power of your sense of smell and how to make use of that in your scenes. I know she's excited. I'm excited too, because this is not one that I know a lot about. I don't think I've ever seen a class on this before. But using the senses, all the senses, including your sense of smell, can definitely, it's huge. How someone smells, if you're smell compatible, if you like the way they smell, you don't like the way they smell. That all plays in how we interact with each other in the world. And I can't wait to hear what she tells me about it. And finally, we have our tea presenter. I have never met a person so passionate about her tea as Lisa. Lisa, Fetish Curiosity on FetLife. She is joining us after a long hiatus from the community. Previously, she was the education director for CAPEX in Charlotte, and she's also served on the board for organizations such as SELF. So at one point, Lisa was incredibly involved in the community, and I have lured her back out of hiding. I am pleased to say she will be teaching her class, Discovering the Art of Tea, a journey through taste and tradition, which will include a tea testing of all of her favorite teas. And just like our wine and charcuterie hour the day before, we are going to roll our tea testing into our high protocol tea hour, which will be the conclusion of the protocol weekend. So we will have one last opportunity to enjoy each other's service and company, and to really just celebrate the interests that we all share. And that is a ton of information all about the Protocol and Power Exchange Weekend, PPE Weekend. Of course, as always, you can find more information about that on the Kinked Atlanta website. That's kinkedatlanta.com. I did make an entire page dedicated to the presenters and classes on the Kinked Atlanta website under PPE Weekend. So be sure to check that out. Any updates to sponsors, any updates to classes or presenters, that's where you'll be able to find it. And of course, the ticket link is also listed there. It's an Eventbrite ticket link. You do have to get your tickets on Eventbrite. But it is linked up through FetLife. It is linked up through the Kinked Atlanta website. And of course, I will continue to post on social media any updates or anything that's coming up. We will have to cut off ticket sales by next Wednesday because I have to order food for everyone. Your food is included in your ticket. Yes, it is $100 per person per day because all of your food, wine, beverage, tea, brunch, everything is included in this for you, including the educators and presenters and compensating them. I do have a special promo code for a discount off the second day. If you buy a ticket for the Protocol and Power Exchange Weekend Day 1, you can get half off your second day with promo code PPEW1. That stands for Protocol Power Exchange Weekend 1. This is the first one, and I can't believe how well it has miraculously come together. Again, could not do it without of all of these fabulous groups working with me, all of the presenters who have agreed to give their time back to the community. This could not happen without all of them. I am looking forward to seeing you all there. Again, more information you can always find kinkedatlanta.com. You can follow me. I am Madam Jess at my Madam Jess. I look forward to seeing you. Take care, guys.